No, you're not. Just a couple of things to. Thanks, Brian. Just a couple of things to add to that, some of which will be a repeat. As Deb said, there's a rail crossing on leg 1 and there's another one on another leg. That's very well marked, but again, for the benefit of the South Australian riders who haven't seen it, it only sticks out of the ground a couple of inches, but it is a trip hazard, so just be careful there. Also, as you approach that rail line, there's a culvert on the near side of it. Just be aware that's there as well. So just take care, that's all I'm saying. The same goes for the second rail crossing for you guys who haven't seen it. There's spots out there where you look up and there's a sea of arrows. Okay, you might see 10 or 12 arrows. I too find it very hard to read the arrows at night, so take care to actually make sure you're following the right arrow. Don't look behind you, standard rule, because you might see an arrow and head off in the wrong direction. The road crossings, the first one is about 10k out, and most of you will hit there sometime in the early hours of the morning. And if there's a car coming, you'll see it coming from a million miles away, and it's not a problem. But just be aware, it's each horse and rider's responsibility to make sure that it's safe across the road. Don't follow a horse in front of you automatically. Make sure that it's safe to cross the road. And that'll come into play more on one of the subsequent legs, where we may have marshals. I'm sure you know that yet, Deb, but there's a road crossing on one of the other legs, which some of you will cross sometime during the day. And we're just making this, or the SES guys are making an assessment of that at the moment. There'll probably be marshals there that will give you the okay to cross the road. There's a few crossovers out there, so you will be passing horses at times? Yeah? No?
Not coming towards them.
Okay, all right. Delete that.
You might pass the horse in front.
The only other thing that I can say about the track is please don't use the drinking water to strap your horses. Okay? The drinking water is the drinking, not for rubbing your horses down. That's it for the moment. Pass you back to Brian in a minute. Anne will talk you through the betting process also shortly in detail. And at the end of all of this, and at the end of that, I've got a couple of other general things to say about the track. And after that, we will do a walkthrough of the whole base for those who want to do that. You don't have to, but we'll walk you through and show you exactly what's what and where to stand and all that stuff.
We can carry on with a couple of times and all that.
All right. Let's do the vet thing in.
You're there, mate. That's it.
All right.
Is there any struggle calls, please?
Don't know.
Oh, okay, what's going to happen, I'm going to be setting a TV up near the cafeteria, and the SES, hopefully, they're going to transmit the checkpoint details to there. So just come up to the cafeteria and look, keep an eye on the TV, and you'll see all the leg times and where your rider is.
So, is there somewhere written down where those last checkpoints are before we come in off the leg? So I remember one is 3 k's out, one is 10 k's out, just for our strappers, so they... It's all right, we'll come and talk to you later. Thanks.
Phone coverage. It's phone coverage. Yeah, it is. You're welcome to use your mobile phone to ring in and let your strappers know you're coming in. You have phone service at the whole length of the course.
Mark, sorry, when you said there's no drinking water, or don't use the drinking water for strapping, you mean the horse drinking water or the human drinking water?
I mean the horse drinking water.
So you can't use any more out there for strapping?
No.
Only at the checkpoints. It's strapping water for checkpoints. There's strapping water at checkpoints, but not at the remote water points, it's just horse drinking
Yeah,
water.
so there is strapping water out there on top as well.
The unmanned water points is what we're talking about.
Okay, I'll move on. I might get this out of order a bit now. The vetting. When you come in to vet, when you come in off the tracheal scanning, you then have 30 minutes, the usual 30 minutes to present to the vet for your, or to present to the veterinarian or to scan in fact, at the vet gate. This being a vet gate into hold ride, you have 2 goes at heart rate. If you fail the first go, you get a second chance. If you fail the first go, you have to leave the vet ring, wander back round towards the strapping area and go through the vet gate a second time. Don't come in at 29 minutes, fail a heart rate and hang around for another 30 seconds wanting to do it again. You have to make sure you leave enough time to get out of the vet ring, go back around and pass through the vet gate again. You can come in at 29 minutes and 59 seconds if you want to, but you'll only get 1 go at heart rate. Only 2 people in the vet ring, please, rider and strapper and horse, not no more than 2. Now the vetting procedure will be exactly what you saw before. If you fail the heart rate for the second time, a second vet will check that heart rate. No horse will be vetted out for anything on the say of 1 vet. Okay? That goes for all metabolics. If there's any doubt about whether a horse is okay or not, a panel will be called. A panel of 3 will be called. And if anybody's going to be vetted out, it will be on the basis of what the panel says. For the gait assessment, at the end of the first 4 legs, what will happen is you will run out for 1 vet. You'll either get thumbs up, that's okay. If you don't, we'll call a panel automatically. And the panel will make its decision. Any member of the panel can ask you to run out a second time. No one will run out twice for a single vet. You might run out twice for the panel. And then the panel will make its decision. Okay? At the end of the ride, you'll go straight to a panel. Okay? You may be asked to run twice, and then you'll get your result. So are there any questions about any of that so far? Was that unclear to anyone? Good. The strapping area will open at 6 o'clock. So if you want to run for the best spots, you can do that, although there's lots of best spots, I think. If you have a panel called, don't worry. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got a problem. Okay? A vet might have missed seeing something, but don't panic automatically. Okay? Sir. Yeah, sorry?
Do we have to strap in the strapping area?
No, you strap wherever you like. Well, strap at your base or strap in the strapping area. You don't have to strap. You can come in through the in gate over there. Strapping area is on the left and the vet gate is straight ahead of you. You can go straight to the vet gate, that'll be the express lane, so to speak. If you're going to do that, the only thing that can happen between the in gate and the vet gate is you can take the saddle off. Okay, there's to be no water or no strapping in that area. If you do that, it's either going to be back at your camp or in the strapping area. All of the other stuff, this stuff you've probably all heard a million times before. If you've got a problem, call the chief steward number which is on the back of your pendant, or go to a checkpoint. If you have to call the crash cart, make sure you tell them they know where you're going to be, the rest of your float. Make sure they know where you're going to be. If you decide that you don't need the crash cart after all because you've removed the stone from your horse's hoof, call and tell us, please. We'll be unhappy if you don't. At any time during the ride, just remember all of the officials will be potentially quite tired, having not slept. So please be sensitive, particularly as we get into Saturday. And you're dealing with all of us who have potentially not been to bed for 24 hours or more. The teams event. Normally at Quilty's there are state teams events and restricted and unrestricted teams. We're not having a state teams event with this Quilty, so get your entry forms in and hand them to me or to Laney or to Andrew, please, sometime before the start. And a couple of late things that I don't have written down that I'll try and remember, one of which was when you reach the first checkpoint and possibly the second checkpoint, there might be a lot of horses. You might actually have to be a little bit patient if there are a bunch of you there. And as usual, it is your responsibility to make sure that the checkpoint logs you. It is not their responsibility to see you passing by and write down your number and note your number. My fellow Chief Stewards, Laney and Andrew, what have I forgotten? Heart rate 60.
Where did you say the chief steward number is?
On the back of your index.
Finish what I needed. A little late from you, actually.
Just a little bit about the electronic timing system. Most of you probably are familiar with it by now, although I don't know how many of you have used it how many times. One of the issues we have down home is people inadvertently walking back past scanners. That kind of plays with the system quite a bit. If you walk past the in-gate scanner and then you vet and then you walk past the in-gate scanner again, the computer gets very confused and it won't know why you are there when you are there. Please keep that in mind. So you'll go past your in-gate scanner, you'll strap or not, you'll go past your vet gate scanner and then you'll depart the vet ring via the far end, the opposite side to where you've entered. Always keep in mind you don't want to be going past the scanner with your lanyard unless you really do want to be scanning. When you depart the track, you'll scan out, except for obviously the start of the first week. Their scanners are pretty good, they're pretty sensitive. It is best, generally actually, the only way to work is if you've got your lanyard out. We generally like to have them out, just hold them in your hand near your shoulder, go past the scanner, don't race past it, you don't need to tap the lanyard on the scanner, just a gentle pace past it that will pick you up. Generally we don't have too much trouble unless people try and rush the system. For the few of you who may be involved in the gallop finish, just keep in mind that you'll be going in off the racetrack via what is the outgate. So we will need to make sure that you don't inadvertently scan past that scanner. We'll manage that because we will know if there's going to be a gallop finish and we'll try and have someone there. But just keep it in mind. The main thing is with the scanners, you only want your lanyard near the scanner if you are definitely wanting to scan. It just makes the people in the office's life much, much easier if you can keep that in mind. Thanks.